And he said, I know it. Hold your peace. It's not time for talking and too much talking. There's a time for everything. You know, I know you're my brethren and we love to talk, but this is not serious business right now. This is a serious day in the history of my life, in my lifetime. Okay, and something is about to happen. And I don't want to miss anything. You remember last week we were talking about how Jesus was in the Garden of Gethsemane and his disciples were sleeping. And as I said, I'm pretty sure if they knew what was about to happen, right? The urgency and the danger of this, it alone would have kept them awake. Right? But by the time the Lord said to them, oh, it's okay, you can sleep now because they are here now. As I said, they must say, what you just said? They're here? And by the time they look, see. Right? So, Elisha saying, no way, no talking, no nothing. Only one thing is important right now. And I want to be on top of it so that I get the full connection, right? I'm not getting no half-hearted thing. I must get the full connection. But he comes to a place which is called Jericho. And Jericho is a very significant name even in church, right? We used to sing this song about round the walls of Jericho, round the walls of Jericho, round the walls of Jericho, the army went, right? 7 times without a shout, 7 times without a shout, 7 times without a shout, the army went. And when the people gave a shout, right? When the people gave a shout, the walls fell down into Jericho at last, into Jericho at last. Yeah, we used to sing it. We didn't know what we were singing about, but we liked the sound of it, right? All right? But he said, that's what happened with Joshua, right? And we know the story that the Lord told them that 7 times they were to come past the city, and they weren't going to say a word, okay? And they actually threw their enemies off because the enemies couldn't understand why they never said a word. They didn't try to attack them. They tried to do anything. Just marching around like that. The enemy was confused. You know, God will make you confuse the enemy, you know. Confuse the enemy. You know, and sometimes better, you know, like Elisha said, hold your peace, right? Hold your peace. Don't say anything. And the enemy was confused, wondering why the army didn't try to attack, why they didn't do anything. But they weren't going to do anything. God was going to do it for them. Do you know what I'm talking about? See, you're not going to do anything. God is going to do it for you. Amen? And when you give a shout of praise, the scripture said a while ago, in Psalm 34, it says that, let me just read a verse there. It said, I bless the Lord at all times, praise shall continue to be in my mouth, said my soul. He said, oh, magnify the Lord with me, and let us exalt his name together. So when the people gave a shout, the walls fell down. And that was it. So all the soldiers who were up there collapsed within the walls. And then it was like, people said, hold on, all their security, all their, what they were depending on was gone. Who did it? Not Israel. You didn't do it. Your God did it for you. You know what I'm talking about? When I say your God did it for you? God did it for you. So they are at another very significant place. And Joshua swore that day, he said, nobody wants to build that city. Because if anybody build it, there will be a curse upon him. But somehow, somebody did rebuild it in the days of, the days when the kingdom was divided, right? Somebody, I can't remember the name of the man right now, who built the city. And Jericho is there until this very day. People go to visit Israel. I've heard somebody talk about it. It's still there until this very day. So they are at a very significant point. And they are at a place where God turned the army of the Jerichoites into foolishness. He turned all of their counsel into foolishness. They are at a place where God wrought a great defeat, a victory for Israel, okay, and the place is there. And now he says to him, the Lord has sent me to Jordan, and you must stay here till I come back. Just stay here. Excuse me. You can imagine when the kind of request that Elijah is making of him. I mean, how are you supposed to stay here? I don't even know if I'm going to see you again. Right? I don't know if I'm going to see you again. I don't know. Because today is the day when you're going to leave. I can't afford to stay here. And then the next thing, you're gone, and I don't know. I didn't get to see you in the end. So he told him, he said, I'll not leave you. I'm not leaving you. So the both of them went down to Jordan. And here it is. 50 men of their brethren decided to go over and watch what's going on. I don't know, something maybe told them that something was going to happen at this river. And they go down. And this is the third leg of it now. And this is what's going to happen. And he goes down to the river. And he stands by the river and he doesn't say anything. He just took his mantle off and he wrapped it. And he hit the water. And the water divided. The Bible said, it said that Elijah took his mantle and wrapped it together and smote the waters, and they were divided hither and thither, so that they too went over on dry ground. That was it. Verse 8. When, in the time of Joshua, when they were going into the land of Canaan, that was the same thing that happened. Right? The Bible said, but I said, when the priests, they kicked right into the river, then the water would just separate like that, and it would be dry ground, and all the children of Israel could pass over. Now it was only 2 of them, and they were going to cross over dry ground. And when they went over, Elijah is saying, well, Elisha, I'm telling you, the moment has come. The moment has come. It's right here at the door. I'm asking you, what do you want me to do for you before I go? Now, if Elisha was foolish enough to stay back at Jericho, how would he be able to get this blessing that Elijah is going to give him? Worse, if he had stayed back at Bethel, and even worse, if he had stayed at Gilgal, he would have missed his blessing. And some of us, even though we say we are children of God, our Christian, we don't understand how God works. And sometimes because of our lackadaisical attitude, or I would say our nonchalant attitude, or maybe, you know, just, you know, couldn't care less. I mean, like, sometimes because of our naivety, I mean, just, like, you know, right? We just lose our blessing. Because, I mean, Elisha was a man who was on top of it. And he's saying that, listen, I'm not leaving you. As I said to you, I'm going to say again, if you had stayed in Jericho, you would have missed his blessing. Although Jericho is an important place where God was a great victory, but that was not the place for him right now. If he had stayed in Bethel, he would have missed his blessing. Although Bethel is an important city, a place in the history of the Bible, and there God made Jacob, their father, made a covenant with God. And there was a vision of angels ascending and descending. It was glorious. Just like what happened in Jericho. The victory in Jericho was glorious. It was wonderful. But that was not the place where God wanted him to stay. The victory or the blessing that Jacob had in Bethel was glorious. And it was wonderful. But that was not the place where God wanted him to stay. And the victory they had in Gilgal, where God said he will roll away the reproach of Egypt off of them. That was wonderful and glorious. But that was not the place where God wanted him to be. He didn't want him to stay there. He wanted him to move on. And so he was moving on, going to Bethel, moving on, going to Jericho, and now he was at Jordan. He has crossed the Jordan with Elijah. And God is saying, I'm ready to give you a special blessing. You have followed on, and you have been faithful. You have been true. You have been a true friend, Elijah said. You know, you have been with me. You have supported me. God is calling upon you on great things, and you have proven yourself worthy that God can depend on you. Right? And I'm saying to you, sometimes when I'm talking about Ahab, remember I said how God gave him so many chances, but he blew them all in because the Spirit of God was not in him. But the Spirit of Elijah and Elisha were connected. God told him and appointed him. They connected. Because even when he said to him, wait here, he said, no, wait. And he doesn't say nothing. And he's proving him. He's testing him. He's trying him. And he goes there and he said, wait here. He said, wait, no way. I'm not leaving you. And you can see, if he had said sometime when somebody says something to you, you must be wise to know that sometimes I don't mean it that way. Because if you might never see me again today, right now, and I'm telling you, must wait, and I'm going a distance away, and you might never see me again. And you say, okay, all right, I'll wait. You say, oh, well, you never really want to see me then. You know, you didn't really want to see me. Simple as that. Because you know that in a matter of hours I'll be gone. You'll never see me again. So why would you give up that opportunity and say, well, you're not going to go with me? It doesn't cost you anything anyway. And even if it costs you something, because of your friendship and your love and the love of Christ which constrain you, you're going to go. Right? So he went. And now he was going to get a blessing that without it, he wouldn't have been able to do the work that God had for him. And Elijah said, what do you really want me to do for you now? Right? And you know, these men of God, they're not asking for silver and gold. They're not asking for material things. They're not asking for power over his enemies. He's not asking for things like that. He said, you know, Elijah, I just love the way how God works with you. I just love how you do things. I just love how, and I wish if I could be like you, I mean like double you. And Elijah said to him, a double portion of my spirit. Said, well, I really don't know. I mean, that's a hard thing. I mean, how, if I have one thing, I give it two. But I'm telling you that I know my God is able, and he can give it to you. And this sign I'm going to tell you, watch me. Watch me. Keep your eyes on me until the last moment. Keep your eyes on me until the last moment. Don't take your eyes off of me. Now, how could he have done that if he had stayed in Jericho? Eh? How could he have done that if he had stayed in Bethel? How could he have done that if he had stayed in Gilgal? You know, and for many years I've seen many people who are serving God, as it were, in the church, and they're living in the past. They can tell you what God was doing years ago in their lives and things that were happening in their lives. But right now there is nothing going on. There's nothing. Nothing is going on. So they only have a memory of the power of God in the past. But what is really happening now? They have nothing to work with. Nothing. Nothing. And so, whereas it was good to have a victory in Jericho, yes, but not stay at Jericho. It was good to have the wonderful vision and the experience that you have in Bethel and worship the Lord there. That's not the place for you. And Gilgal, it was glorious there too. Yes, because God took away the report. That's not the place for you. God wanted him to move on and move on. So now he's going to get, all right, now see what he's going to do now. So the Bible said while they were talking, the scripture said, and it came to pass, as they still went,